Initiate. This clan class is dedicated to the in-game application of Star Wars lore. In particular, we will be talking about bringing balance to the Force. What does this mean? This statement is represented in Star Wars lore and especially in the Star Wars movies. It is the key tenet to what Jedi are striving for: balance, or bringing the Force into balance. To discuss what this actually means, we will first have to look at the two major aspects of the Force and where most of the misconception or confusion comes from, and why this concept of balance is so misinterpreted by your average Star Wars fan. Everyone is familiar with the light side of the Force and the dark side of the Force. This is the proverbial good versus evil, the struggle that always goes on. You will often hear people say that you need to have light and darkness to have balance, or dark cannot exist without light, and light cannot exist without dark. Just from a pure logical aspect, why would the Jedi strive for equal Jedi and equal Sith? This is not the view of the Jedi Order when they discuss bringing balance to the Force. Anyone who thinks that light needs darkness to exist and vice versa are no longer expressing the lore views of the Jedi Order, but are only expressing their personal view. I think debates like that are very interesting. However, they are not lore and they disregard the canon of Star Wars. When most of us think of the word balance, we think of a scale or a seesaw, two equal weights or bodies keeping each other in balance. Most without knowing lore would say you have to have equal light and dark to keep the Force and the universe in balance. The noun definition of balance is a condition in which different elements are equal or in the correct proportions. This picture is the picture of a scale that is out of balance. This is a very logical view of what the word balance means, but it is not the view that is supported by lore when the Jedi are using the word balance. The verbal definition of balance is to keep or put something in a steady position so that it does not fall. This picture of a person on a tightrope that is using his sense of balance so he does not fall represents this verbal form of the word balance. The way that this makes sense is the light side of the Force, Ashla, is the natural order of things. We need to view the tightrope and the Jedi walking on this thin line trying to keep balance. If he loses balance, he will inevitably fall to the dark side. This dark side is the corruption that comes when one uses it. It is not only destructive to people around them, but it is destructive to the people that fall into it. The dark side of the Force, as written in lore, is extremely addictive. It is hard to fall off the tightrope and get back on, if not impossible. The fall off that tightrope for the Force wielder is an extremely satisfying fall into insanity and madness. The dark side of the Force corrupts no matter what it corrupts. So anyone using it will eventually be corrupted, regardless if they try to use the dark side for good. The dark side has a will of its own and will corrupt any practitioner. Nobody is immune from this. The user will eventually do what the dark side wants and not what they want. A Jedi, by keeping himself in balance, is aiding to bring balance to the Force, and it is the sworn duty of the Jedi to combat any Jedi who would fall out of balance with the Force. This can be a means by either bringing those who have fallen back into balance, but more likely a means of terminating those who have fallen out of alignment. When Yoda sends Obi-Wan Kenobi to get Anakin, now Darth Vader, he did not hand him a pair of handcuffs. Obi-Wan pleaded with Yoda not to send him because it is a Jedi's sworn oath to destroy the dark side, and Obi-Wan knew that it was almost impossible to bring someone back who has fallen. Obi-Wan knew he would have to destroy his Padawan. We certainly hope this clears up any confusion anyone has had on the view of the light side and the dark side of the Force, and the view the Jedi have of balance, and what it means to bring the Force into balance.